Step into Piazza San Marco today, and you are surrounded by the friction of a modern city. Thousands of people navigate the square, moving through dense crowds, competing with cafe noise and the perpetual motion of tourism. Facing this chaos is the western facade of St. Mark's Basilica. It stands as a heavy, imposing monument built to broadcast military and political dominance. This entire exterior is a collection of loot. Following the Fourth Crusade in 1204, Venetian forces dismantled the architectural wealth of the Byzantine Empire and shipped the fragments home. The walls are anchored by slabs of Egyptian porphyry and columns of deep green veined marble. In the 13th century, these specific stones were the exclusive visual language of emperors. Venice mounted them here to claim that imperial legacy for itself. The mismatched columns and high arches serve as an intentional display of global reach. They remind anyone approaching the doors that the Venetian Republic possessed the ships and the strength to strip the East of its treasures. This messaging continues on the upper balcony, where 4 bronze horses stand guard over the square. These horses, the triumphal quadriga, were taken from the Hippodrome of Constantinople. Their heads were severed to make them fit onto transport ships, then reattached with decorative bronze collars to hide the scars once they reached Venice. Below these war trophies, the central entrance forces a change in perspective. To step inside, you must walk beneath a glowing mosaic of Christ, positioned as the judge of the living and the dead. The transition is immediate. You leave a plaza filled with symbols of military conquest and walk into a space that demands spiritual submission before you have even cleared the doorway. Inside, the noise of the piazza is replaced by a heavy, still silence. Every surface seems to radiate a dim, golden light. This chart shows the Greek cross layout of the floor plan. The building is capped by 5 equal domes that sit lower than typical cathedral vaults. This architectural choice pulls the ceiling closer to the floor, making the massive images of saints feel physically immediate. Over 8,000 square meters of gold glass tiles cover these curved surfaces. The mosaics follow a strict narrative path. They move from west to east, beginning with the earthly stories of Genesis near the entrance, and rising into the heavenly scenes of the Ascension as you move toward the altar. Because the domes are low and the gold tiles angle to catch the light, the figures of prophets and apostles wrap around the visitor. The architecture uses these millions of gold fragments to compress the distance between the viewer and the divine stories overhead. Looking down reveals that the ground is as intricate as the ceiling. The 12th century flooring is a massive puzzle of opus sectile marble. Interlocking circular patterns and checkerboard marble inlays form a path through geometric meanders and symbolic animals. This marble path leads directly to the high altar. The entire structure exists for this single spot, the tomb built to house the smuggled remains of St. Mark. Fixed behind the altar is the Palla d'Oro, the building's most concentrated display of wealth. Its central figure of Christ is surrounded by 250 enamel panels and 2,000 precious stones. Rubies, sapphires, and pearls are embedded directly into the gold. By placing this massive collection of imperial treasure over the saint's relics, Venice linked its immense commercial success directly to its highest religious duties. St. Mark's continues to serve as the primary site for Venetian worship, as it has for over a millennium. The intended effect of the mosaics is best seen during Sunday Mass, when the building is put to its historical use. During these services, the interior lighting is increased. The artificial light hits the thousands of gold tesserae, causing the domes to glow with a depth that is not visible during standard visiting hours. While tourists wait in lines outside, the daily cycles of the church continue within the sanctuary. The high altar is prepared with illuminated candles, maintaining the building's original function as a place of quiet reverence. Since its consecration, the basilica has provided a consistent, hushed environment that remains unaffected by the changing city around it. To enter this environment, visitors must follow a strict code. Shoulders and knees must be covered, silence must be maintained, and flash photography is prohibited. These requirements ensure that the interior remains a space for prayer, rather than a backdrop for a casual walkthrough. Standing in the nave puts you in the exact physical footsteps of the doges and merchants who have crossed this floor since the 11th century. St. Mark's Basilica is not just an object to be seen from the square. It is a sequence of experiences, from the intimidation of the looted exterior to the silent, golden weight of the interior that requires every visitor to slow down and acknowledge 1,000 years of history.